If Malik Willis is there at 13, do you think the Browns seriously consider him?
I do. Now, you have to weigh a couple of things, right? You have to weigh 2022 versus the long-term future, because if you could get a Garrett Wilson or Treylon Burks at number 13, right, you could say that would have an immediate impact where Malik Willis probably wouldn't. There's a chance he could sit for the entire year, at least part of the year, because, played at Liberty, isn't considered quite ready. But there's some upside there. There's a lot of upside. He was really likable to talk to. I think he impressed teams in interviews, and he throws the ball so easily. Big arm, downfield, has zip on short throws or intermediate throws. And I do, because the Browns are obviously not committed to Baker Mayfield. They haven't talked contract extension, and they've had, almost a year to do that. And that means you got to look for alternatives. And the draft is probably the best place to look for a long-term alternative. And he's might be the best guy in the draft. So I do think that they would have to seriously consider Malik Willis at number 13. And then you have to figure out what you do, receiver. Do you take one at 44? Then do you go find the best, free agent? You can figure that out. But you just can't pass up on guys you think might be long-term answers at quarterback.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the scouting report. This is from NFL. So 6'1.5", 219. You see the arms, the hand size, all those. Not great, but he is an elite athlete. Let's take a look at comps. So Jay Cutler, arm, Jalen Hurts, build, play style, upside quarterback with special parts to his game, but with no guarantee they will be assembled properly into a finished product. So even if Williams fails to reach his passing potential, running ability doesn't slump, and he has the talent to produce on the ground at a level between Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. And again, you add all those parts together, and it's kind of what you're saying. There are some interesting, intriguing developments to his game, assets to his game.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, to me, the concerns about him are not ideal height, right? We've seen Baker struggle to read stuff from the pocket. He's a little taller than Malik Willis. And he might not be ready to play right away. But when you have that running ability and you have the big arm, it feels like you can do a lot with him. And I think he's a guy that coaches would be really intrigued by. And I would be surprised if Kevin Stefanski doesn't look around and say, hey, ideally my quarterback would have more rushing ability, right? The ability we could run him if we wanted to, just make up plays when things break down. It's a trend across the league. We saw San Francisco do that when they drafted Trey Lance, right? It feels like that Kyle Shanahan wants that type of quarterback, or that, threat of a quarterback. And not that Baker's a bad athlete, but he's not Malik Willis or Lamar Jackson or Trey Lance or Jalen Hurts, right? So I could see Kevin Stefanski being really interested in a quarterback, a quote-unquote dual threat quarterback. And then the fact that he's got a big arm, it can scare defenses. And I know, I know as a play caller, you would like that too.